1, 2. Hvala. Poštovani gosti.
Dear guests, good morning. Welcome to the first Circular Roundtable organized by the Ministry of Environment Protection and the UNDP, implemented through the Circular Communities project in Serbia. We are glad that so many of you are attending. Over 120 chairs are occupied. That's why we are a bit late. This topic of circular economy is extremely important, and that is why we are very happy to be discussing it, especially in the context of multiple crises we are faced with. Circular economy proposes that we essentially change the way we operate, in which we project, design, and live, because it is necessary that each one of us spends less and uses things multiple times, natural resources, energy, and water, and it is necessary for this transformative change to be implemented together as individual and through cooperation of different sectors, the public, private, civil, and academia. Today's program is very intense and very interesting. It will demand your undivided attention, but I think we will enjoy it. We have 3 program blocks. Now I'd give floor to the Minister of Environmental Protection, Mrs. Irena Vujovic, to address you. Good morning, everyone. Dear guests, dear friends, Mr. Jakub, it is an honor, first of all, to address you here today and to see so many of you. I hope that next year we will take a larger conference room. Republic of Serbia in last December opened Cluster 4, under which we have Chapter 27, which refers to the environment and climate change. For the EU member state, they have a Green Deal from December 2019. For Serbia, that is the Green Agenda for the Western Balkans, which in November 2020 was adopted by signing the Sofia Declaration. Through these documents, it is planned that by 2050, Europe becomes the first climate neutral continent. This means that all activities in the coming 30 years will be directed towards reducing greenhouse gas emissions and halting the temperature rise on the whole continent. It can be done through circular economy as well, which has been recognized as one of the pillars of the Green Agenda. The Republic of Serbia government adopted the program of development of circular economy for the period of 2022 to 2024, through which circular economy has been recognized as the tool for green transition of the Republic of Serbia, to which the government is very dedicated. It should enable better competitiveness of economy through reducing negative effect on the environment, especially in the use of natural resources. The need for such behavior exists exactly because it has been estimated that natural resources demand will be greater than now. The so-called linear economic model, take, produce, use, and throw away, is unsustainable because we have limited natural resources. Estimates are that in the coming 4 decades, annual production of waste will increase by 70% until by applying the circular economy, resources are saved, the value of materials is saved, and the waste is a resource. It covers the key areas, waste management, water management, renewable energy sources, energy efficiency, chemicals management, green public procurement, economic policy innovation. The key goal of the government of the Republic of Serbia in this segment is creating an incentive environment to support the green transition in Serbia. Circular economy should serve the citizens, regions, and towns, contribute to sustainable development, climate neutrality, and maintenance of the people's health, and well-being. To maintain it, we need to develop appropriate business models based on innovations, which will respond to future demands of the clients on the local and international market. I will recall that our ministry, since March 2022 until March 2027, is partnering with UNDP with financial support. The Global Environment Fund is implementing the reduction of the carbon footprint project by applying circular communities. The project is aimed at supporting circular ideas, business models, and products, public and private companies, to reduce the carbon footprint in Serbia. We are trying to support the development of solutions and business models which will contribute to the greenhouse gas emissions reduction and mitigation of climate change. And we supported the best solutions through 3 initiatives within this project: through the public call for innovations in circular economy, 30 top proposals and business models of innovative and cost-effective projects and business communities by the application of the circular economy principles received through the Circular Economy Accelerator, all the necessary support for practical implementation. After the public call science to economy for 20 best proposals, circular vouchers have been awarded worth $10,000. Accept the challenge call, encourage best practice of 10 social responsible companies which are applying circular economy and sustainable development in their operations, contributing to the maintenance of people's health. And this is a strategic direction of our state policy, which was verified by the government by adopting the mentioned program and an action plan of developing circular economy. Ambassadors of circular economy are you, because your ideas and your work contribute to spreading the circular community, implementation of circular projects, building a firm foundation of circular economy in our country. I'd like to congratulate companies which participated in the circular communities project, companies selected in the Accept the Challenge initiative, and science research institutions which will receive vouchers under circular communities project. I wish that ideas that become reality on the local level, you expand the circular community and be a global inspiration. Thank you all. Big thank you to Mrs. Vujovic, because she clearly pointed out the importance of circular economy and shared with you the key results of our joint project. Now it is my pleasure to give floor to the resident representative of the UNDP, Mr. Jakub Berisha, to address you.
Thank you. Draga ministarko Vujovic.
Dear Minister Vujovic, ladies and gentlemen, I am very glad to be here with you to learn more about the specific innovative solutions which will accelerate the development of circular economy in Serbia.
Circular solutions understand that it is important that we behave and do business in a way that allows us to save and renew natural resources and energy, reuse and recycle products and materials, and reduce the amount of waste. This is the principle behind circular economy, and it is a high time we start practicing it more. Globally, we already use twice as many resources than nature can compensate for through regeneration. According to the Circularity Gap Report of 2022, our world today is only 8.6% circular. That is the share of energy and resources that we managed to save and reuse. However, as I mentioned in the beginning, there are positive signs and examples of good practices. Talking about positive developments, allow me to first congratulate Minister Vujovic and on the adoption of the Circular Economy Program earlier this month. This document paves the way for further development of the circular economy and for acceleration of the green transition in Serbia. In that context, I would like to share with you three key messages that we should all have in mind to ensure progress on this path. Number one, it is the collaboration with the private sector. It is indispensable to promote circular economy, and recognizing this, the Ministry of Environmental Protection started the Accept the Circular Challenge that UNDP is glad to support. The aim of this challenge is to motivate the private sector companies to align their operations with the circular economy principles. I was happy to learn that 10 largest companies working in Serbia already answered to this call, and with concrete plans for saving energy and resources. Their readiness to accept circular principles of business model is encouraging. They can become important advocates for change and improve their businesses, making energy and material savings to improve the bottom line through circularity of operations. Being aware of the importance of private sector engagement, UNDP has been supporting small and medium private sector companies as well to realize their green business ideas. Out of the 9 new innovative solutions that we will present today for reducing greenhouse gas emissions and for a more efficient use of energy and resources, 5 were developed by private sector companies, with all 9 solutions to receive financial support to be implemented in practice. I mentioned the private sector. The second point I would like to make is on the science and the research, and when they come together with business, how actually they can promote economic growth and actually generate new jobs. So it is about the economy at the same time, but science is critically important in promoting that. In November this year, to boost cooperation between academia and the business sector, we called on researchers and scientists to be innovative, creative, and visionary, and address circular economy challenges together with the private sector. Out of 41 excellent proposals received, we selected 12 best ideas that will receive financial rewards. We will award them with circular vouchers for further development. We strongly believe that new partnerships created through cooperation of academia and business have the potential to increase competitiveness of the Serbian economy, bring economic growth, and of course, create new employment. Science as my second point, and the third and the final point is about the importance of communities, because we have to bring all of these examples to life, and that's where they come to life at the community level. We need vibrant, dynamic, and innovative local communities that recognize the benefits of circular economy for their citizens. For example, some self-governments are already active in finding solutions for better waste management. Novi Pazar is the first city in Serbia that decided to tackle textile waste by collecting it from industry for recycling. This town is a textile center with more than 250 producers who annually produce 60,000 kilograms of textile waste. Municipality of Osečina will be the first one to collect biomass from surrounding orchards and by engaging economically vulnerable population to produce biomass for heat production. In addition to innovative local governments, there are many entrepreneurial and visionary small businesses and proactive individuals in local communities throughout Serbia. Today, we have with us circular social entrepreneurs and men and women who promote reuse, upcycling, and zero waste practices. This circular ecosystem is the right, nourishing environment for green practices that we all need to bring about the desired transformation of the economy and society. In closing, I would like to thank the Global Environmental Facility and the Ministry of Environmental Protection for working together with UNDP to accelerate the green transition in Serbia, help the economy, and improve the quality of environment for the benefit of all citizens. I would like to also congratulate the pioneers of circular economy in Serbia who would receive their awards today. I look forward to learning more from all of you and hear about your ideas in the coming sessions. Thank you very much.
Veliko hvala gospodinu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Berish, for the introductory keywords and the relevant principles that he underlined. Cooperation with the private sector is very important. Contribution of science, live and dynamic local communities, such as Osečina and Novi Pazar, and the overall ecosystem of small and micro social enterprises, which you can see in the back, trying to create dynamic and circular communities. On behalf of Minister Vujovic, we will have to apologize that due to other commitments, she will have to leave this early. But after the keynote speakers, I invite our committed colleague, Alexandra Vucenic, Head of Department for Circular Economy within the ministry, to join me here. And we will start the first block of presentations by explaining the initiative Accept the Circular Challenge, which the ministry initiated during the previous month. Thank you, Anna, for the very good introduction and kind words. Distinguished Mr. Berish, State Secretary Dokic, Assistant Minister Čakić, dear friends and colleagues, it is a pleasure and honor to welcome you today on behalf of the Ministry of Environmental Protection, and thank you for joining this event, which I hope will be very interesting. Green transition is the commitment of the Republic of Serbia. We've heard this from Minister Vujovic, all in order to achieve sustainable development and reduce climate impacts, as we are members of the UN, and Agenda 2030 is our homework, so to say. And we are also signatories of the Paris Agreement to reduce climate impact. In order to implement the green transition, we need everyone on board: the economy, local governments, academia, research institutions, civil society, because we are only pieces of the circular economy puzzle, which we have to put together. Implementing new business models leading to savings and optimization, use of best available technologies, circular design, adequate managing of waste and water source resources, using alternative raw materials, energy efficiency, renewables, innovations are just some of the key elements of circular economy. To demonstrate that we have best practices in Serbia and to demonstrate that our companies are on this road, the ministry launched the Accept the Challenge initiative as a call to socially responsible companies implementing these principles, with the idea to showcase to other companies how they too can implement some of these measures in order to save energy and resources. Of the received applications, we selected 10 representative ones. The rest were also good. But in our selection, we wanted to have energy efficiency, use of RES, circular design, use of alternative raw materials. And I'm truly privileged to now present and invite representatives of these 10 companies who were selected. The idea now is, after 1 year, which is in some 11 or 12 months, these same companies will present what it is that they've done in 2023, whether they managed to put in place the measures which they committed to put in place, and to show specific savings achieved. All of this in order to inspire also other companies. I now invite, due to the limited time, the first measure is by Coca-Cola Company. I invite Anna Vok to present their measure, which has been selected.
Hvala.
Thank you. Good day to everyone. I'm Anna Volk, Manager of the Environment within Coca-Cola HBC Serbia. Our company since 97 is member of HBC along with 28 other companies. In Serbia, we operate 3 factories in Belgrade, Vlasina, and the newest member of our family, the factory in Neresnica. The care for the environment is absolutely an integral part of all our business processes. And this is exactly what made it possible in recent years to significantly reduce the use of resources for our business. So we managed to reduce energy consumption by 56%, water by 53%, and CO2 emissions by 82%. The list of projects and investments in the environment in our company is really long. We do this on daily level. And the key in this is that all 3 factories have wastewater treatment plants, and we are very proud of the fact that since 2020, all 3 factories are using electricity from 100% renewables. When it comes to this call, we applied with the project to put in place heat pumps. The idea being to use the potential of the water temperature that we use in our production process. The water in our system is of higher temperature than is needed for this, and there was room for improvement. The task of the project is to have chillers, cooling water, replaced by high energy efficient heat pumps. The key feature of heat pumps is that they at the same time produce both hot and cold water, and we need one and the other. And the key benefit from this will be that now the gas-fired boilers as the primary source of heating in the Belgrade factory will be used only when heat pumps cannot produce sufficient volumes of hot water. The expected savings will be 202,000 meters cubic of natural gas, which will reduce 360 tons of CO2 emissions. The current status of the project after the design and preparation stage is that we are currently collecting bids for works. The works are expected to begin beginning of next year, and our planned completion date and commissioning of the plant is mid-2023. In the end, I'd like to say that we are very proud that Serbia is the first country within the Coca-Cola Hellenic Group of the 27 countries to implement a project of this kind, and we are expected to use this new knowledge and lessons learned to other countries. Thank you very much.
Hvala, Ana. Divna mera koja stvarno...
This is a wonderful measure that contributes to savings. The second company, bulk packaging, Nicole Tserovic will present what they have prepared for 2023. Good morning. My name is Nicole Tserovic. I'm technical manager of bulk packaging Europe in Zemun. I will briefly give you a background of what we are doing in Serbia, which measures we closed in this year, and which is the key focus the next year. Bull in Serbia has 4 production lines. Our core business are aluminum cans for beverages. We produce 2.4 billion cans annually, or 7 million cans daily. Current level investment is around 240 million euro, and we've been in operation since 2005, and we have around 300 employees. We focused on the following measure this year that we closed this year. Is the 100% LED lighting, not only in production facilities. Each piece of lighting that you will see when you enter our gates, outer lighting, inner lighting, automatically regulated sensors, We have lights only when necessary and with LED quality. The second measure we closed is the improvement, optimization of the existing heating system. We focused on the principle when and where the heating is needed. The knowledge of our shift system of 24/7, 365 days with facilities not operating in the same regime, we achieved the automatization level and reduced the spending of gas in our factory through smart solutions, through automatic management of the system. That is the key measure in the gas savings project. The last measure refers to the optimization of part of the process. Knowing our own systems is very important if we want to achieve improvements. And in this case, we wanted this biggest piece of the case that where lesser effort brings more gain. The nature of the production process is such that compressed air, the compressors producing it, spend around 50% of the total electric energy for the facilities on all lines. With regard to that, in further automatization of the entire process, we improved the group of compressors which are managed in that way that they are at that point that they give the most efficiency with the smallest amount of energy consumed. And thus we produce the biggest effect. The electric energy consumption was reduced by 3% compared to last year, with further ideas for the next year and possible improvement of capacity and further savings. But when we are talking about the next year, this complicated graph represents the thermal oxidizer. It is related to process air. It burns all particles at 800 degrees and sends them purified air into environment at 160 degrees Celsius. This is the last year when this air will be waste. As of next year, we are planning to install heat recovery system so that this air that comes out can be reused for heating processed water. When we say this, we focus on that the savings that do not occur only during winter, but that processed water that the factory uses throughout the year will now be additionally heated. The project is implemented in the third quarter of this year, and the projected reduction of consumption annually is between 10 and 15% of the total consumption of natural gas. It is important to say that this is the already existing solution in some factories, and we are now rewriting best practice where there is no bad context. We are just using something that has been proven to work in order to make savings in our processes. Thank you very much. This is a very impressive presentation. I'd like to ask the speakers to stick to 3-minute restriction because we have a very rich program. Dusan Lalic from the Belgrade Airport to present their green investments in infrastructure to fall back on the previously presented project. Good morning, everyone. I will present important environmental projects of the Belgrade Airport. As of 2018, we are operating on the Vansi airports, the leading private operator of airports with 54 airports in its network. In the last 5 years, we invested over 15 million euro in environmental projects which have direct effect on the environment. I'd point out solar electric power plant, the value is 2.2 million euro. By installing this plant, we reduced CO2 emissions by 900 tons from the scope 1. We built a state-of-the-art boiler room on natural gas. We have 3 generative facility producing electric energy, heating energy, and cooling energy through absorption chillers. Thanks to this investment worth 8 million euro, we reduced our CO2 emission by 25%. 1.3 million euro were allocated to transfer stations for sorting waste. And based on these investments, practically, we are planning by 2030 to send zero waste to landfills, which is a very ambitious goal of our company. Also, 3.9 million euro we invested in the sanitary waste water, and we expect to put it in operation in 2024. We have an integrated management system, and we had certified on level 2 of the International Airport Council. Our focus, unlike Coca-Cola, was sources from scope 1. As for the project itself, it refers to replacement LED lighting. We replaced over 6,000 bulbs, and we plan to install 18 pillars with LED lighting. That is the first thing you will see when you arrive in front of the future terminal building. It will be LED lighting with solar panels. We ensure the autonomy of operation thanks to batteries. Investment in this is around 80,000 euro, and the estimated annual reduction of GHG emissions is over 13,000 kilos. Until when the reconstruction completes, we will have 100% LED lighting in the entire complex. And now you can see what it will look like, what the future Terminal 2 will look like after the works are completed. Thank you.
Hvala, Dušan.
Thank you, Dušan, for this exclusive new look of the airport. Now I invite Nikola Jerkovic of Nectar Group to present their very good measure. I'm Nikola Jerkovic of the Nectar Company. I'm electrical engineer in Vladicin Han. I will present first Nectar as a family company created in '98. The company itself grew until 2003 by merging with another company from Vladicin Han, Delicious, for fruit and vegetables processing. The Vladicin Han company is a big processor of fruits and vegetables, more than 50,000 raw materials. Within the company, there are 77 staff employed, and net revenues are 15 million euros annually. Let me note that in 2022, we built part of the plant of the new boiler house in Vladicin Han, located in the very core of the city. The investment was more than 5 million euros, and the boiler plant includes a gas-fired boiler, biomass, wood chips fired as well. And the calculations relative to the old boiler house fired on crude, we see that annual savings will be more than 5,000 tons of carbon dioxide, thus improving the quality of the environment in Vladicin Han. The challenge for 2023 will be to build a drying plant so that the refuse can be used to reduce the biomass-fired plant use of wood chips, reducing wood chips consumption by 30%, which is about 1 hectare of forests annually. In order to put all circular economy principles in place, we've looked into ash to be used to improve soil quality for our organic apple plantations, to improve the quality of land and reduce acidity. Thank you very much. Thanks, Nicola. Nectar is a team that was part of our accelerator, and we will be very happy to co-finance some of the measures in order to have full circularity in place. Now we invite Vanja Popovic of the Wax Express company to present their initiative. I am Vanja from the Best Express Courier Express Service, a family company. Bex Express is a company established in 2010, and very soon it became a leader in the market of private courier services. Over the 12 years, we have now 1,200 employees and 900 vehicles. With the growth of the vehicles pool, the carbon print also increased, and we now want to stop that. We are the first company in this sector of private courier services to introduce electric vehicles, light delivery vehicles, electric, and CNG also vehicles. When it comes to the number of vehicles in 2021 and 2022, we use ministry subsidies to import 180 such delivery vehicles, and we plan to import another 130 in the coming year, which will then be 1/3 of the complete vehicle pool of BECS. When it comes to savings during the first 10 months, it is 400,000 diesel derivatives, thanks to these investments. And also the daily average consumption of electric vehicles is 15,000 kilometers, which is about 30% of the whole capacity. When it comes to investments and the relevance that we attach to renewing our vehicle pools, we have invested over the past 2 years heavily in improving our vehicles. With the optimum use of electric vehicles, we are also achieving significant financial savings and improving the sustainability of our system under the current energy crisis. In proportion with increasing our vehicle pool, we have also built power plants in 5 cities with total capacity 300 kilowatts per hour. We've also installed electric chargers, thus adding the new necessary elements in the system. Some of the plans for 2023 include $12 heavy CNG-fired trucks, plus 10 new ones. We've filed our application for the status of privileged power producer. We plan to install 3 more solar plants in Kikinda, Becce, and Subotica. The measures for next year will contribute significantly to protecting the environment, and we expect reduced diesel consumption of 1 million liters of diesel. And this would be it in a nutshell.
Hvala, Vanja.
Thank you, Vanja. Really impressive results. I'd like to give floor to Dinavnet, Srđan Krča. Okay, it will be Senka and innovation in agriculture. My name is Senka Gajinov from Dunavnet, from Novi Sad. Our company is an innovative technological company dealing with designing and development of digital solutions for various fields. Our primary focus was digitalization of the entire production chain of food, from producers to consumers. And we have a developed agronet platform, which is already in use, not only in Serbia, but also more broadly for a number of years. After successfully implemented large number of science research projects, we directed our activities to Connect project financed by the EU Commission, where together with 20 partners from Norway, Denmark, Luxembourg, Turkey, and Serbia, we are working on introducing the basis for digitalization, that is introducing digital solutions in rural communities. What we plan to do in this project is use mobile solar generators, solar panels, installed on tractor sprinklers, which will initiate irrigation system replacing the diesel pumps that are in use now and directly affect the reduction of GHG gas emissions. They will have meteo stations and communication devices which will enable monitoring the environment condition and soil conditions, and all the collected data will be analyzed on the agronet platform that I mentioned through various expert models, which will create instructions or recommendations to producers when is the optimal time to do certain operations. Based on this, we will reduce the amount of pesticides used and reduce and optimize the consumption of water for irrigation. This will lead to the reduction of the land quality diminishing. This results will result in preserving diversity and reducing the negative impact on the environment. Thank you. Thank you for this presentation of this comprehensive initiative. We move to the circle use of waste, the dangerous waste. I invite Elixir Prahovo, one of the teams in our accelerator, to present their idea and their initiatives. Ljiljana Stanojević. Good morning. My name is Ljiljana Stanojević. I work in Elixir Group as an advisor to the general management for the environment. My presentation, we responded to the call of the ministry with our Elixir Prahovo factory, where we are implementing a reconstruction for the purpose of environment protection and applying circular economy. These numbers speak well about how much we are producing: 300 tons mineral fertilizers and 180,000 tons of phosphoric acid. This next slide is about the goal of our reconstruction of the reduction of the impact on the environment and carbon footprint of our products, and increase of the efficiency of the process of concentration of phosphoric acid. Why is it the right time? Because we planned to do this reconstruction in 2023, and we obtain many location conditions, construction permit, and everything that we necessary to start the reconstruction works. The raw materials are replaced with alternative materials, waste acids and ash from the processing of communal water. This ash replaces raw phosphate, and if we replace 1 ton of raw phosphate, this makes 47.74 tons savings in the CO2 emissions. This reconstruction is within the plant we plan to install equipment which will enable dosing raw materials and their introduction in the production process. Also important part is the installation of additional equipment which reduces emissions into the environment. This is being done. It is about the reduction of powdery materials and dangerous gases. We need to adhere to the documents, IPPC regulations. We are working on it, and I think we will have good results in all of this. And finally, I put this Christmas tree in the botanical gardens together with Philanthropic Forum of Serbia. We rented a tree in the botanical gardens, and our young colleagues have adorned it. We pay the rent for this tree, and the money will use for the increase of the plant fund in the botanical gardens and for its maintenance. This is one beautiful picture to conclude my presentation.
Hvala, Ljiljo.
Thank you, Lilia. Truly a good measure. Circular economy includes circular design, and I invite Snežana Lazinac of Nivela to present their proposed measure. I'm Snežana Lazinac of Nivela Company, Head of Quality Assurance and Environmental Protection Department. The key activity of our company is production of beverages, mineral and other bottled water. And in addition, we distribute products within Fortenova Beverages Group. The first bottle of MG Mivela was bottled back in '84, and our water has a unique composition, lots of magnesium in hydrocarbonate form, which is very important for consumption. The special feature of the Mivela water is also that the natural springs of this water are in a natural environment of Veluce village at 220 meters above sea level, where this water spring is fenced and protected against all physical impact to zones of sanitary protection in line with the ministry's permit. As for the production lines, we have 2 for bottling of mineral water with added CO2 in PET packaging. The commitment of our company is such that all staff work on reducing environmental impacts in their daily work. We've raised awareness in this respect. The European Parliament and the European Council adopted Directive 2019-904 on how to handle single-use plastics. Our company decided that during 2023, we will put in place the tethered flat cap for the bottles. As a company, already in 2015, we introduced the relevant ISO standard. We have ongoing training of staff, introducing new projects. And through this one specific project, we want to respect the directive and go a step forward, because since July 2014, these tethered flat cap are a pre-requirement for export to the EU. And we do export to the EU, Increased production, of course, in itself increases the number of caps ending up in the natural environment, thus polluting the soil and the environment, and degradable plastics, which degrades into micro and nanoparticles, protects the environment and will be, because these caps being tethered to the bottle, this will now enable full recycling of the caps. Thank you, Snezhana. A very good example of circular design. Let me invite Yetel for their proposed recycling of electronic devices.
Zdravo svima. Samo prodim na koju stranu. Zdravo svima, moje ime je
My name is Dejan Markovic. On behalf of Yetel company, we present our program of recycling devices. I have my colleague Marijan Đukić, who is our environmental expert. He is this charming, laughing gentleman. So if you have any questions after my presentation, you can refer to us. Yetel company is not a new company in telecommunications, but it's a new telecommunication brand. In its basis, we have a mission that our users are offered assistance in finding their balance. One of our strategic pillars is balance with nature. For a number of years, we've been implementing initiatives and activities to support this strategic pillar. In addition to local and global activities, we have specific activities. Our base stations are supplied through renewable energy sources. So we are using 100% renewable sources, and our users can participate in eco-friendly activities in our building. They can diversify waste, and we are using paper bags. We are referring our users to electronic bills. If they're using Yetel network, the service is free of charge for users. We have digital service where through one click, you can apply for service that average quantities of used paper are recycled and plastic are recycled for you. I don't think you know about the details of our activities, but I can later explain this. Thank you. On the other hand, our primary goal and our core activity is the sales of mobile telephones and mobile devices. We are offering everything, all the accessories, and we are the best place to buy mobile devices. That implies that we want to enable our users to use the mobile phones for as long as possible. And if they do not want to insure their devices, we issue e-compliance certificate, and we are trying to be at their disposals, and they can use a replacement device if there is broken. In the placement of mobile devices since 2021, we started the activity of recycling mobile phones and expanded it in July 2022 with the aim of becoming the best place for recycling mobile devices, especially having in mind that the infrastructure does not exist. In view of the recycling of devices, we have an adequate example of circular economy. We connect the end user with the recycling center, which is not adequately accessible to the user. On the other hand, Yetel has a shop in almost every town. In one of the high streets, people bring in their old device, to a shop. It is packaged in certain appropriate boxes. When we achieve a certain quantity, we are distributing them to the central warehouse. It is taken over by our partner. who is disaggregating components. We have also precious metals there, which are disaggregated, and the motherboards and batteries are exported to the EU market. On the other hand, our users can use a discount when buying new devices, which they would buy anyway, but in this way, we are enabling them to bring in their old device to be recycled, whereby we are controlling whether this device will end up in mixed waste, polluting our soil and ultimately food. In less than 2 years, we recycled 400,000 old devices in 2023. The plan is to have additional 200,000 with the aim that we have 1 million recycled devices by 2025. We dispose of 32,000 kilos of waste, and that will be it for the presentation. Sorry, I exceeded my 3 minutes. Thank you, Dea, for the present initiative, and thank you for your comment. Our idea with this block was not to have some pretentious marketing campaign. It is just to see the good initiatives, to discuss, perhaps to give our criticism that is constructive. They are already invited for questions in formal and informal form. We will have a discussion at the end, and we can discuss also during the coffee break more informally. We agree that we need to ask different questions, and we are very open for discussion. The last presentation in the first block, my big pleasure is to invite Marina Cvijanović on behalf of EcoBio Invest to present their very interesting and perspective initiatives which we will support through the second accelerator of circular economy. I'd like to thank UNDP and the Ministry of Environmental Protection for having recognized our efforts of our small company, but we hope a company with perspective. Marina Cvijanović, EcoBio Invest. Good morning, everyone. It is a company in existence for over 4 years, but we are only now starting to commercialize our project and entering broad production. Until now, we explored materials and patenting the production process on the EU level, that is the Europe level, and ensuring certificates for our materials. These are materials produced from biopolymers from the production of fruit and vegetables, so food waste. By processing, we get granulates, which produces final products like foils, bags, cups, and plates, but final products are definitely non-toxic and completely safe for the environment. And we ensured compost form certificate, which certifies that our products are fully dissolvable in household conditions without using additives, no nanoparticles entering water and later on in the food chain. So they're completely safe. We created a new green technology, which additionally contributes to taking the waste at the point of its occurrence. The processing of fruits and vegetables, less waste in the landfills, less CO2 emissions, less methane. We are a small company, but as you can see, we are dealing with two big issues. One is the processing of food waste. On the other hand, plastics use. We are offering alternatives in the form of products that are quite fully safe for use. Our initiative with which we applied, my slide is missing. Our initiative is an example of circular economy. We agreed with the city of Čačak. It is a classical example of circularity. We are taking over waste from budget kitchens. But it will start the budget kitchens where they prepare food for kindergartens, student schools, hospital, and local prison. So local raw materials that we will be taking over from them will be certified by the Institute for Molecular Genetics and Genetical Engineering, to which we are very grateful for support. to our efforts to create something good for the environment and improving the life of all of us. We will produce granulates. This is a bag made of our materials. And later on, out of granulates, we will have final products to start with. We will have cups and bags, and later on foil. Everything made of thin one-off plastics will be made of our material. The pilot project that will happen with the city of Čačak will be started in 2023, will be an inspiration for other local self-governments and those producers of fruits and vegetables who didn't know what to do with waste, and other retailers, that they will find their use and will be accepted from all other plastics producers without any modifications on their existing machines, so that they can use our granulates and offer their clients something a lot more healthy and better, because we all deserve a better quality of life. Thank you.
Thanks, Marina. And now we've heard all 9 companies selected to lead this initiative. I'm very glad that they presented clearly what their plans are, what they're doing, and I hope that this will inspire and motivate other companies to take some similar measures of circularity, so that when we meet again in 11 months, we will hear from the same companies in more detail about how they implemented these measures. At that time, there will be a new public call. So get prepared for this new call to follow in 11 months. So in 11 months, November next year, we will publish a new public call, and we will hear from the ones selected this time when they will present their achievements. Thanks once again. Thank you, Alexandra, for implementing this initiative. Let's congratulate all companies for the good measures presented. We hope they will learn from each other, they will motivate each other. And now we will move on to the second block of our event to present and award circular vouchers to representatives of academia and businesses who responded to the November call about innovative solutions to test and put in practice some new solutions. These are 12 such initiatives of partnership between the economy and the academia. I invite State Secretary Ms. Dokic of the Ministry of the Environment and Žarko Petrovic to join us, head of the Resilient Development Team of UNDP. I will be announcing the winners. And please, as I say a few words about your initiative, come to the stage and take your voucher. The vouchers are $10,000 each as a guarantee of the company in the consortium that they will take on board the idea of the academic institution. The first one is by the Faculty of Technology and Company Melanga of Belgrade. So please join us on the stage. This initiative is looking at a new way to use the eggshells and used edible oil to produce biodiesel and pellets. We will hear from the teams next year when we organize the new circular roundtable about how they implemented their ideas. The next team is the Vinča Nuclear Research Team and the power distribution company developing artificial intelligence solutions to reduce air pollution by as much as 20%.
EPS. Trebalo bi da jeste, koleginice su sprovodile.
The power company of Serbia? the wrong voucher. Let's now make a short 5-minute break and then continue with the award ceremony.
Sljedeći tim jeste tim biološkog fakulteta i kompanije Biotech Engineering.
Faculty of Biology and Biotech Company to bioreactive using algae to accelerate the composting process. This is a closed system, a green composter that's already been tested. The other is photobioreactor using algae to release oxygen and accelerate the process and grow algae, and composting happens within 2 weeks and not 6 months. The next is Faculty of Chemistry of University of Belgrade, together with entrepreneur Aleksandra Rašović, launching cosmetics Amelis products. This initiative extracts and encapsulates products from the raspberry seeds, leading to new oil, creams, and other cosmetic products.
The next, perhaps this microphone, the next initiative proposed by the Institute for Molecular Genetic and Genetic Engineering in cooperation with DOO. It is bioton, biopigments produced from food waste that can be applied in the industry of dyes and varnishes. The next initiative is with the Faculty of Agriculture in Čačak and University of Kragujevac. Biosilica fillers and biopolyols obtains from agriculture industrial waste used for the production of environmentally friendly adhesives. We'd like to invite representatives of the University of Electric Engineering with Matter and Control Limited, which propose a transformer, which through the implementation of innovative principles leads to considerable savings in the consumption of energy in households and large distribution systems. The next is the University of Mechanical Engineering, University Niš and Alpha Klima, modular compact system, 3 generation, net zero energy consumption, energy cube that can be used modularly for different users and dislocated systems. Now, we'd like to invite the representatives of the Forestry Management University of the University of Belgrade and Micro 3 company who applied for a condensate from the process of steaming wood waste as a raw material for innovative bioproducts. Now we'd like to invite the representatives of the University of Technology in Novi Sad and Polyplast packaging from Novi Sad to optimize the production of biodegradable and compostable bags in Serbia. Congratulations. Very interesting idea on potential use of insects in the development of Serbian agriculture, the project of Institute for Biological Research, Siniša Stanković, and Belinda Animals Company, member of our accelerator. It is the initiative that Tenebrium monitor uses the larva for the production of proteins by degrading also plastics like styrofoam. Very interesting project. And that we have another initiative, University of Agriculture University in Belgrade, Suborkop are proposing a compromise between the production of good quality pork and the environment protection through ecologically sustainable and economically competitive technological process of crossbreeding. Congratulations. And now, exclusively for you once again, we congratulate from the heart to all those who received the rewards, and we look forward to your presentations of the outcomes of this initiative. Now you can come all on the stage so that we can take a joint photo.
Evo, na završetku.
At the end of our second block, before the coffee break, I'd like to give floor to Mrs. Sandra Dokic to address you on the cooperation of the economy and the science. I'd like to thank you for having recognized our efforts to go from the linear economy to circular economy, and to thank you for being so committed, for following our calls and applying to them. It is important to us through the implementation of our project of developing circular economy that we will have the same or similar initiative, and would like to ask you to follow everything we do and apply with innovative and good solutions, especially ones which show good close cooperation between academia and the economy to apply for our calls, challenge calls, because you will receive support if you have a project idea that we will turn into a project or enable you to reach a certain specific project with which to apply for funds. It is very important for the Republic of Serbia that all we do on a strategic level and plan, that you are the ones who will accept this, that it becomes part of your business operations and our lives. Thank you. Thank you to Mrs. Dokic. Just technically, I'd like to know that we had huge interest for this challenge call for circular vouchers. Public presentations were attended by so many people, and we received many good quality solutions. We never had such a good response from our evaluators, and we'd like to call all the teams that apply to the call to apply to future calls for support through co-financing for testing and implementing these initiatives in practice. I think we finished this block a bit earlier. I'd like to make two important notes. At the back of our room, there is a small fair of circular gifts, so you can visit it, talk to the producers, and to select your gifts. And you have also totes to pack your gifts in. So enjoy this practical circulation as much as you can. The second call is to remain also after the break, because we will present 7 great initiatives of our circular economies accelerator teams. They will receive support from $750,000 for testing and applying in practice these initiatives. Total investment value of this project is around 15 million. These initiatives are really great, innovative, and dynamic, and inspirational, and vibrant. So enjoy the coffee break and have fun and socialize. We hope that we will also keep enjoying after the break as well.
Poštovane kolege,
Dear colleagues, I think it is time to continue. The second block will be facilitated by my colleague Vladimir Jovanovic, project coordinator at the UNDP, and in cooperation with Alexander Vucinic from the ministry, we will have presentations of ideas and projects of our teams, which will be supported through acceleration. They have been supported, and now they will test their ideas and implement them in the next year. I will give floor to Vlada and we'll come back after the discussion. We have 7 teams that successfully went through the acceleration process under the Circular Communities project. And with their innovative original projects, they each solved an important problem concerning sustainable development. Textile waste is certainly a planetary problem and a challenge for economy in Serbia. Public utility company Novi Pazar decided to counter this problem, and I'd like to invite their representatives to present their project idea. Good afternoon, everyone. Ramzia Dražanin. I collaborate on environmental issues of the city assembly of Novi Pazar. I have my colleague from the Gradska Čistoća public utility company. We come from a city where textile industry is very strong. We have over 80 producers. This tradition has been going on for over 70 years, over 80 producers of clothes, jeans primarily, which generates a large amount of textile waste, which amounts to around 60 tons a year, although we believe there is a lot more, but this is official information we have. This ends up in wild landfills, and it is being incinerated in individual furnaces, increasing pollutant emissions. And Novi Pazar is among 5 most polluted cities in Serbia. This incineration of waste contributes to this air pollution. In order to resolve this waste management, we established a system in a way that the city, in cooperation with Gradska Čistoća public utility company, which has a recycling center, which has a license to manage this waste, They will collect, transport, temporarily store, and then hand it over to the operator for further use. That means that this operator will produce materials for other industries. This project ensures vehicles to collect and transport waste. And next year we have planned to expand the capacities by building a roof for temporary storage of this material. The benefits of this project, through this project and the adequate establishing of waste management system, we will get less wild landfills, less incineration in individual furnaces, and reduced pollutants emissions. And finally, reduction of the overall waste taken to the city landfill, which is 25 kilometers away from the center of the city. In that sense, the public utility company will get profit because it will reduce the transportation and the use of fuel. The textile producers will get the benefit in all of this. They will get a cleaner environment, and the public utility company will take over the waste free of charge. And finally, we will get a clearer, healthier environment and improved public health of the citizens of Novi Pazar. Thank you. That would be it.
Hvala.
It's really a pleasure to see that someone is engaged in addressing this burning issue. Today, we've seen examples of projects recognizing biomass as an energy potential. In addition to companies, there are many local governments and public enterprises recognizing biomass as a sustainable energy source, and the public utility Osečina is among these companies, and I now invite them to present their project. Good day. This project was developed by the public utility Osečina in cooperation with the municipal administration. The municipality is located in Western Serbia, the population mostly engaged in fruit growing, and it developed an event which is the plum fair happening the last weekend of August every year. So you're invited to come to Osečina on this occasion. In our region, mostly we grow raspberry, blackberry, and plums. In winter and spring, producers and growers cut their fruits, generating a big quantity of these cuttings and residues, which mostly either rot or are illegally incinerated or disposed in landfills. And we were thinking of how to utilize this. In the Osečina municipalities, we have already, in order to protect air quality, developed a central heating plant replacing 6 coal and oil burning heating plants. We plan to do another such plant burning biomass for individual homes and residential buildings using wood chips. And we kept thinking of how to use this kind of biomass that I earlier described from fruit growing. In order to preserve forests, in order to achieve financial savings, we will substitute one part of wood chips, because to produce wood chips, you use healthy forests. In order to protect forests, we will substitute a part of the wood chips with fruit growing residues, saving in 4 years more than 10 hectares of healthy forests equivalent to the size of 17 football pitches. How will we do this? We will be collecting residues from farmers, ship it, transport it to a silo where it will be mixed with wood chips and burnt in our boilers, producing energy, whereas the resulting ash would be used as environmental fertilizer for fruit plantations. To do all of this, through this project, we plan to purchase the equipment here in the photograph, the tractor with the auxiliary equipment. And we are happy that this project is sustainable because every year agricultural biomass is generated again. And this is very important in view of circular economy. And I invite all municipalities who have fruit growing in their regions to follow this model of using biomass. And we thank raspberry. It is sweet fruit, keeping our hearts warm and giving us residues that keep our bodies warm as well. Thank you. Biomass, apart from being an energy source, is also valuable raw material for composting, which is important in green transition models. And the utility company Greens and Parks of Novi Sad has decided to circulate based on compost. So please present your idea. I am Daniela Andrich of the utility company Loans and Parks of Novi Sad. Our project is Circulate with Compost. Our company maintains 530 hectares of green areas in Novi Sad, and all green residues are actually the basis of this project. The objective is to improve the system of maintaining green waste, extending the capacity of the composting field. We already have a field for this purpose, and we plan through a project like this to extend the composting capacity. Another objective of the project is to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. So the innovation is in providing a lasting and sustainable solution to manage green waste, to circulate green waste. And we are pioneers in our region in doing this because annually we produce compost as excellent organic fertilizer, which goes back to nature, to the different green areas where we use it. And another product is wood chips as a fuel to heat our business premises, greenhouses, producing different seedlings and seeding materials. Our activities will mean that 5,000 tons of biomass is not landfilled, but rather disposed of in this composting field, where intensive compost production using innovative approach and modern machines will promote further the results so far. The expected impact, the outcomes are multiple. One of the impacts will be the environmental impact, reducing landfilling of biomass into landfills, avoiding pollution of water, air, and soil, and economic impacts are reduced costs of landfilling, reduced costs of transport, and reduced costs of procuring organic fertilizers. This is on the one hand, whereas on the other, thanks to wood chips, we reduce the procurements of heating fuels. All of these different impacts are a best practice that we put in place in Novi Sad. Here is a flow chart of the process that we do within our public utility company. Thank you very much. And there is a small video. If possible, we can play it now. It is here. If not, that is it for my presentation. Thank you very much.
Preduzeće
Mivaka Limited, through its project, proves that cattle growing can take place under the animal welfare principles and contributes to sustainable bioproduction through generating high quality organic waste. Hello, my name is Vanja Stepanovic. I come from Raka, Belgrade. We initiated the green management chain, which is an innovation in agriculture. Our core activity is veterinary protection of animals, buildings to prepare the place to accommodate animals. So far, the use was based on the location. It was a straw, wood chips, and we saw that they contain some pathogens, and we don't get the expected results because we poison the surface that we enter in the first place. There were materials disposed in the landfills. The focus is to enable the welfare of animals and to protect the environment, so to reduce the impact on our neighbors who complained about these farms and constant improvement. The reply to what to place in this contemporary facility so that the animals have a maximum output was found in nature. We got nature back to animals. We produced the natural bedding, which is the property of Mivaka. It gave life to animals, better conditions. It established the old Aristotle saying everything that was as a part is entitled to part of the earth. The room is better used and the products are of much better quality. I would like to point out that we, for the first time, have the production without those particular smells that you sense when you approach the farm. We also considered what to do after we complete this process. We have a healthy chicken production without the use of chemicals, and through our technology, we developed a product in 2018, which was the first of its kind in this part of Europe. It is solid fertilizer, which organic fertilizer, and we also exported it to the EU. What did we get? We got a product that takes the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium to the earth and restores microbiology that through reckless operations we destroyed. We destroyed irrigation through the use of pesticides and insecticides. The circularity is best shown in these parameters. We take 10 and return 40. We take 65%, we return 90. About nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, the numbers speak on their own. take, but also take back for the new generations to come was one of our mottos. The products are safe and producers recognize this in the production of fruits and vegetables. The carbon footprint, we are calculating it with the SGS. We are among the first companies that started this. And what I want to point out today, in addition to our activities that are proven in fruit and vegetable growing and agriculture, the most important our activities was to restore peatlands. With in cooperation with people from the Faculty of Agriculture, we produce results that you can see in the municipality of Bor. In these meadows, you can see cattle as well. And these pictures show that soil above ground is completely healthy, and the underground soil is strong enough to not allow the distribution of detrimental materials. This helped the people who needed this assistance. And this year we had a competition. Do you understand? We invited all the people who are from the academia, the sculptors and painters, to present how they see us. We are ready for the future. We are ready for the new facilities. And the numbers before you tell you that 48,000 tons can be made in Serbia. If 1 ton of torocik can save 3 tons of carbon dioxide, you can easily calculate what the future will look like. I can tell you that the future will be green. We hope that as well. Thank you. Bitgear Limited applies circular economy principles, offering solutions using high-level technology. And I'd like to ask Maria to present their projects. Good afternoon, everyone. Maria Nikolic. I will speak on behalf of Bitgear Company. What we are faced with today, we are living at a time of great technological advancement. Technology advances so quickly that every day it brings something new. And we have new goals, new challenges, new options. The striving for the increase of profit also is combined with this striving towards the optimizations of operations and elimination of bad impact on the environment. It seems that we can do everything, that we have solutions for all problems, but often it happens that there are no ready-made solutions for specialized problems that we are faced with in certain particular fields. That's where we come into the play. We have been developing the line of products which enable various solutions, control of access, oversight and control of access at remote locations, improving waste management and saving resources. Our solutions have been developed here in Serbia. The overall solution is ours, from the devices through to the user applications available to users. The devices we use look like this. They use battery charge. They are our eyes and ears in the field. They can be installed and adapted to particular needs of every user case. They collect data, transmit them to us. When we process them using various algorithms, they become visible to the users in their offices. They get information important to them when they need them. They can also adjust their system or take certain actions that are necessary. This device that can be used instead of a rock or a hammer is easily repaired, and the idea is for it to be used for as long as possible, to be repaired as much as possible, which so that it can be used as long as possible. These systems are used in the protection of infrastructure facilities, which can be diverse, monitoring the level of how filled the containers are, and collection of waste. Our partners are public utility companies managing recycling waste or any other waste, smart cities, telecommunication operators, and companies dealing with physical and technical protection. These are just some of our partners with whom we have current projects. It is important to note that one such device installed in a big container collecting waste saves around 60 liters of fuel annually. Just one device by not transporting a container that's not completely full. When we multiply this by the number of objects, you understand how big the savings are. We are using also new algorithm and developing the business model. Our work has been recognized, and this picture that you've seen is a medal that we were awarded by the Global Organization for the Intellectual Property Protection. We received it for the design of this casing, and we have been recognized as the center for a big potential for development and innovation in Serbia. Our device and systems can be found throughout the world, and for over 15 years, we have been developing a smart system for a more sophisticated world. Thank you.
Hvala.
We are seeing that circular economy has been recognized increasingly among businesses as a sustainable business model. However, it can also be an efficient social entrepreneurship model, inclusive businesses. And the example of this is involving persons with disabilities in business models. And about this, we will hear from the association Naša Kuća, our home. Good day. I represent social enterprise, our home, and I wish to present today the project From Old to New, using bioadditives to process paper and cardboard. We believe in paper. We believe that bioadditives and its function in producing paper and cardboard with much more value is something that works for us, and we believe in it because our association for many years is producing manually paper using Japanese methodology, and our partner is the Japanese International Cooperation Agency, JICA. So we are using their knowledge, their philosophy, and already we are producing paper that's been recognized in the market as art paper. There are many buyers, artists. We work with corporations, environmental organizations, and today's voucher and today's banner here is our product. And we believe that this kind of paper produced by persons with disabilities who cannot easily reach the open labor market is a good example of linking communities, raising awareness about the environment, employ those who are difficult to employ, and create added value. The bioadditive that we use is an added value because our production so far needs this as it is a growing market. And with this additive, we want to produce paper plates and containers for food delivery. So, and this is the essence of our project. Zaječar and Kragujevac, soon Novi Sad as well, are already producing this handmade paper. The bioadditive that we need gives paper new value, makes it water resistant and biodegradable and recyclable, thus leading to community networking and producing added value, employing many persons with disabilities, and the key products are handmade paper, delivery vessels, and art paper. This is a way to create small, sustainable, circular communities. So far, we have been producing our paper from waste cigarette packages, but we will extend this and have collection across Serbia, thus ensuring raw material for art paper and delivery dishes, which can then again be recycled. Finally, I wish to invite you tonight in the Ulus Gallery in Knez Mihailova Street. There will be an exhibition titled Paper. The paper that we produce is a big challenge for artists, and we will organize tonight an exhibition which will last for a month. It will be a sales exhibition, and the collected revenues will be used to further extend our activities and our networks to produce these paper products, handmade, manually produced paper products, which all implies protecting forests, reducing CO2 emissions, and contributing to sustainable development and reducing pollution. Thank you very much. Paper waste also results from production from the printing industry, and Deto company will present their circular solution to use waste from the production process. I'm Miodrag Ristic from the project Small Boxes, Kotice. In agreement with the organizers, we decided to use a video clip as our presentation, but I will give just a few introductory remarks about the company standing behind it. Deto is a small family business with 12 employees, probably the smallest company in this room, but we have other features. One that we are proud of is that our small, attractive products have been sold for 30 years in 35 countries across the world from all continents. So I wanted to ask you to look at the video. This will give you many answers to many questions, among other things. What is the link between the environment and our company? And I will be here to answer questions if there are any afterwards.
Papira. Do tog viška dolazi jer je grafički proizvod uvek manji od tabaka, papira ili kartona od kog se pravi. To je važilo u vreme Gutenberga, isto koliko i danas, sa jednom malom razlikom. Zbog tehnološkog napretka, danas mala štamparija iz komšiluka sa 10-ak zaposlenih godišnje napravi između 10 i 20 tona takvog otpada. Pomnožite to sa približno 500 takvih štamparija u 1 milionskom gradu, a onda i sa brojem takvih gradova u svetu. Postavlja se pitanje, ako je taj problem toliko star i toliko veliki, zašto do danas nije rešen? Ako to pitate nekog od naših kolega, reći će vam da to i nije neki problem jer se 99% otpadnog papira odavno reciklira. To je delimično tačno. Naša industrija zaista spada među najcirkularnije, ali ako pogledate strukturu zagađenja, shvatit ćete da najviše emisija u grafičkoj i papirnoj industriji nastaje upravo u postupku reciklaže, zajedno sa najvećim utroškom energije, vode, najvećim angažovanjem oko logistike. Izgleda da smo izabrali najprljaviji koncept od ponuđenih. Postoji li alternativa? Naše rešenje u tom smislu predstavlja kombinaciju nekoliko već poznatih. Sve počinje sa novim dizajnom koji je osmišljen tako da minimizira ili naknadno iskoristi tehnički otpad. Potom, maksimalno koristimo sve ono čega pre samo 10 godina nije bilo, savremene informacione tehnologije u marketingu i organizaciji proizvodnje. Cela priča je počela sa ovom kutijicom, koja može da se napravi iz dve veoma uske trake otpadnog papira. Objavili smo je na specijalizovanoj društvenoj mreži Pinterest 2015. godine. Za kratko vreme je postala viralna, što znači da je dovela na naš sajt 100.000 ljudi iz tačno 198 zemalja. Ako se ne varam, to je za 5 zemalja više nego što ih ima u Ujedinjenim nacijama. Tada smo shvatili da je kucnuo čas i da se ova ideja može skalirati na način kao što su to uradili giganti poput Amazona, Alibabe ili Skype-a, kao i hiljade malih kompanija. Glavni trik je u balansu dizajna, proizvodnje i plasmana, jer se sve tri aktivnosti moraju skalirati sinkronizovano do savršenstva. A glavna poruka i motor našeg projekta je da se taj napor isplati. Jedan kontejner sa 2 tone papira za reciklažu vredi na tržištu isto kao 100 grama proizvoda koji se na ovaj način otme iz tog otpada. Magična reč glasi održivost. Šta je sledeći korak? Pogledajte još jednom ovu našu kutijicu sa Pinteresta. Ona je bila ključ u bravi, ali od tada smo već prilično odškrinuli vrata nove paradigme. Na tom putu smo vrlo brzo shvatili da već postoje stotine sličnih upotrebljivih modela i da možemo stalno generisati nove ukoliko u projekat uključimo još dizajnera. Naučili smo i da možemo povećati vidljivost i plasman angažujući volontere i hobiste okupljene oko iste kreativne zajednice. Naučili smo i da postoje organizacije koje su voljne da nam u svemu tome pomognu. Sada smo jako nestrpljivi da vidimo koliko daleko će nas sve to odvesti i koje su granice ove ideje, ukoliko ih uopšte i ima. Projekat kutijica.com.
Evo, čuli smo
So we heard about 7 innovative concepts of applying the circular economy principles, which is only one in a series of the outcomes of the Circular Communities Project. Alexandra, you will tell us more about the outcomes of the project so far. Thank you. These armchairs are very comfortable, so they have been produced from restored old armchairs and they're really beautiful and comfortable. Thank you once again. I will present the outcomes of the project around which we gathered today, and we'll use the opportunity to talk about the development of the Circular Economy Development Program that we managed after a year to have it adopted and to start implementing activities. When it comes to reducing the carbon footprint in local communities, applying the circular economy principle, it has its background. It was prepared for several years and approved formally by the GF on the 14th of September 2021. The project document between the Ministry of Environmental Protection and the UNDP was signed on the 25th of February 2022. Why is this project innovative? Because for the first time, it is being implemented through through a new project implementation modality, which implies that part of the activities are implemented by the UNDP as the implementing agency and part of the activities by the Ministry of the Environmental Protection as the project partner. In that sense, we were obliged to appoint a national director, that is Mrs. Sandra Dokic, secretary and project team. I am project manager, and Dragana Radulovic is project assistant. The project has only just started, and I am very happy that in the past 10 months we managed to have a lot of activities, but there are 4 years ahead of us that we will come to the fore and show what we can do. Formally, we started this March. What is the project goal? First of all, reducing carbon footprint of local self-government by applying circular economy through several forms of support, establishing policies and institutional framework in line with the EU policy in the area of circular economy, build capacities of key stakeholders, science research sector, economy, civil sector, public administration, and encouraging the broad participation of the community in implementing these policies. As I said in the introduction, circular community is comprised of parts of the puzzle that have to fit in together so that this green transition story can be successful. Also important is to establish the LCCIP. That is what we started to implement, this navigator, which is this platform. Also, we are working on developing implementation of new resource-efficient circular ideas, process, and investments. These are these circular vouchers, 12 of which have been awarded today, and support to the selected pilot projects so that they can develop their business ideas. These are the accelerators. We presented now 7 ideas out of 9 selected in the first accelerator. I will not read what we managed to do in the past 10 months. I will just say the point that we first developed the draft of the gap analysis between the latest policies in circular economy in the EU and our current laws and regulations. We identified the gaps, and in line with these results, we started developing 2 bylaws. One is for eco label and the other for EMAS. Eco label is a good tool to the further development of circular economy. Next year, we will adopt these 2 rule books, and since standards are also very important for circular economy, we decided to translate 2 standards and ISO, which are relevant for circular economy, that do not yet exist in Serbia, but which will also accelerate the process of transition of circular economy. Since circular economy is a new business model where there is no waste, everything is used, there was a need to do a socioeconomic study of vulnerable groups to see how they will be affected by the new model. So this document has also been developed. That is the draft document. And what I'd like to point out are local roadmaps for circular economy. We developed a methodology. How will we develop these local roadmaps? What we will look into, which areas in which areas we will do assessments when we visit the local self-governments. The idea is to do an assessment to see how they manage waste waters, public lighting, urban mobility in industry on the territory of that local self-government. This methodology will be a common methodology. Based on this, in 2023, we will develop 5 local roadmaps with the idea of expanding it, upscaling it, so that all municipalities in Serbia have their own plans, that is local roadmaps. The point of these local roadmaps is to recognize problems in certain local self-governments and to give proposals and priorities. What would be the most important to do in a certain local self-government with a timeline and financing sources for measures we recognize as the problem ones. We are going towards these circular communities. And of course, as always, we work on raising awareness of key stakeholders from consumers. We as consumers can buy certain products, choose what we want to buy. Also industries, and today's workshop is also one of the ways of showing good examples to motivate them and encourage them to do something in their companies. These are sometimes investments, other times some other measures, but certain measures can always be implemented. As a result, we were obliged as a ministry to hold an introductory workshop. It was held on the 30th of June 2022. We had around 60 participants. We presented what was installed for us in the next 5 years, which activities we would be implementing. This was an opportunity to create this circular community. It was a good opportunity like this one today for people to network, to exchange ideas, hear something new, and to expand their knowledge and exchange experiences and information. Um, with regard to the accelerator, we discussed the 7 ones that were presented. We selected 9 in total. The idea started as early as 2020 when the first challenge call was open, and we had 30 applications at the beginning. What is really important in these 10 months, we had 12 workshops through which companies that applied and their teams that underwent certain workshops like development of the business and marketing plan, gender equality, uh, calculation of reduction of carbon footprint. It was a very nice and intense period to socialize and learn new things. And even the teams and project ideas that were not selected through this accelerator didn't get co-financing, learned a lot and improved their knowledge in these areas through the workshop. So we expect them in the next challenge call to build up their applications to apply what they've learned to their project ideas. These 12 circular vouchers that have been awarded today are also very important. And in the coming years, we will open other challenge calls. The point of the circular economy are innovations. Now, I hope that we've done a lot in the past 10 months. I'm very proud of it. I will just focus a little on the activities of the ministry, what we've done since 2018 when the circular economy unit was established within the Ministry of Environmental Protection. We set up the working group for circular economy with representatives of 7 ministries, 11 institutions. They were in charge of proposing the strategic framework for circular economy. We wanted to do everything according to the law, in line with the law and planning system, which came into effect in 2018. The first step in adopting the public policy documents is the development of ex-ante analysis, which showed whether a separate public policy document was necessary for this field. We did this analysis, and it showed that in view of the multidisciplinarity of circular economy, it requires a separate public policy document, and In the last quarter last year, we developed the program of development of circular economy in the Republic of Serbia for the period 2020-2024 with the 3-year action plan. It went through the entire procedure, and when it was supposed to be adopted, we had technical government, which does not adopt public policy documents. So we had to wait a new government setup, and this document was adopted on the 1st of December 2020.
Serbia also developed a roadmap for circular economy, a document that is not mandatory. It only gives guidelines, recognizing certain types of waste having potential for circular economy. And we are the first in the region to have this kind of a roadmap. It's been translated into the English language and is posted on the European Circular Economy Stakeholder platform, which is a very good result, and it's been evaluated as a very good practice by the European Commission. The document itself was developed in line with the planning system law and its methodology for developing policy documents. It included the ex-ante analysis, the roadmap, and the green agenda with the action plan for the Western Balkans. And within the pillar 2 of the green agenda, which is about the circular economy, it is stated that the national strategy is needed for circular economy. So in this respect, we were the first in the region to have developed such a document. And let me just explain. Policy documents include strategies and programs. Strategies are about one specific goal, and then from the strategy, there are programs, documents of a lower level, which are also accompanied by action plans. In order to take stock and see where we are, we needed to look at the EU directives and the regulations and compare them with our prevailing regulations, and we identify where it is that we are and what is the room for improvement. We also want, of course, to learn from the best practices across the EU. When it comes to the areas that we've selected, since it is about savings in resources and energy, we looked into natural resources and the economy of Serbia, which is quite resource dependent. Lots of resources are imported. So this can be something of a start in developing an environment in which Serbia would in the end become less resource developed. Of course, local governments are very much needed in this respect. So we looked into the status of local governments in Serbia. The next area that we continued is waste management as an important component, green public procurements and voluntary mechanisms, and awareness of the general public and educational system as an important component in making the transition towards circularity. So the structure is as follows here: planning documents and the legal framework from which we identify program objectives and goals. And then from the objectives, which are 5 in total, we developed the measures and specific activities to be implemented over the next 2 years. The action plan has one goal, which is to develop an incentive environment for green transition, and 5 specific objectives. I will not read all of them right now. The document will soon be published in the official Gazette of the Republic of Serbia, and you will be able to see it. The essence being that the first goal is to support the businesses. The second is to support local government.
Da kroz efikasnije korišćenje otpada u cirkularnu ekonomiju.
Third, to improve waste management. Four, improve green public procurements. And five, raise awareness of the general public and the stakeholders. So here you can see these objectives, measures, and activities. When it comes to objective 1, I'd like to look at measure 1.4, which promotes cooperation between research and businesses in order to optimize production. And this is exactly what we discussed today through the circular vouchers. So this measure and this activity, in our opinion, have been implemented through this project. Another important thing for the economy is to have in place certain action plans, which is also the case for local self-government.
Prioriteti, šta je njima
To identify challenges and priorities as to how they can adopt new business models, how they can save resources and raw materials and become more competitive in the EU market. When it comes to supporting local governments, as I said, we will have 5 local roadmaps during 2023. Certain donors are interested to fund this. The methodology is practically finalized, and we hope over the next year that we will manage to develop at least these 5 local roadmaps. The methodology itself and the examples of roadmaps will be further disseminated to other local governments through workshops that we are planning and through guidelines which we will develop for local roadmaps. The specific objective 3 focuses on a number of waste streams: plastic, single-use plastics, and an analysis will be made of a market analysis to identify the volume of waste of this type, which is put in the market, and how we can come up with some alternatives to substitute plastic wherever possible, respecting, of course, other regulations such as food safety and other mandatory standards. Industrial symbiosis is also an important component here, linking companies that have waste that others can use as raw material by developing a database, which will also be in the platform or in the navigator that I mentioned earlier, so that anyone having certain quantities of waste can make this information accessible to others who might need this kind of waste. This, of course, will be a digital database, which we will be promoting. The next is supporting the construction industry. We know from the roadmap that construction waste and demolition waste has a big potential for circular economy, and therefore we will conduct an analysis to identify the quantities and types of construction and demolition waste in Serbia, and we will try to come up with recommendations and guidelines as to what to do with this kind of waste. Measure 3.4 is supporting a recycling center to improve recycling for products, including substances that are of concern, so that recyclers are trained on how to handle this kind of waste so it doesn't end up in other products. And importantly, we have measure 3.5, improving food waste management, food waste and food surplus. This we've already started working on, and we will continue through the green agenda. There will be a project by the Austrian Environmental Protection Agency. We will have in that respect 3 pilot projects. We will work either with hotels or restaurants or soup kitchens. And we want to train the staff how to separate food waste and food surplus in food preparation or after consumption. So what remains should be adequately separated so that it can either be used for gas burning plants or for composting. We will work hard on this. We will develop guidelines and manuals, which we will present to the HoReCa sector. The specific objective number 4 is supporting green public procurements and voluntary instruments with the idea for certain kinds of products and services to develop criteria for green public procurement and promote these instruments so that the public administration, all those conducting public procurements, include and integrate green criteria. And specific objective number 5, raising awareness of the stakeholders and education institutions. In this respect, 2 measures, one being raising awareness of the general public, consumers who have the right to know what kind of product they are buying, therefore deciding what kind of product they will be buying. And second, importantly, is introducing new courses at universities to look into circular economy, either individually as circular economy or part of other courses, because young engineers, lawyers, managers, after they graduate, can think in this way and improve business in their companies. And what are the plans for 2023?
Sa taj dokument.
Now we have this public policy document, action plan. We are obliged to implement all the activities that have been planned. It is in our focus, of course, the implementation of activities from the circular economy, that is circular community project. These activities are linked, as you could have seen. Many activities from our program will be implemented through this project. Also, intense cooperation continues with all key stakeholders. We are open for cooperation with the science research sector, with companies which have good idea that we can showcase, and the initiative Accept the Challenge, which was promoted this year for the first time, will continue in the coming years. And of course, very important regional cooperation, since the Green Agenda for the Western Balkans is a regional project, and we have managed to leave our mark as leaders there. So we continue this cooperation. These are the plans, key plans for 2023. This is just an illustration that all of us are parts of this puzzle. If one piece is missing, you don't get the full picture. There is no need for further presentations. Thank you for a very detailed presentation. Very important, because for all of you working in circular economy, it's very important to know which areas have been recognized by us as important to introduce innovations. Thanks to Vlada for facilitation and all the teams. They obviously successfully attended public speaking workshops. We heard from them today. Now, this is the most interesting part of our today's event, that is discussion. Do you have questions for Alexandra, for our teams, for companies? We heard many information. It's impossible that you have no questions. Please raise your hand to get the microphone so that we can hear the translation. Vesna Teofilović, Novi Sad University Technology Faculty. If you can clarify the introduction, the subjects regarding circular economy, will there be a challenge call open? How will circular economy be introduced in the existing programs? Will there be a support to accreditation of this curricula? Support for accreditation will be the support of the ministry. You will lead the process. We can't lead the accreditation process or assist in that, but we will also financially we can't assist you, but we will look into it with the Ministry of Education to create a joint idea of how to help. Several universities, I know that the Faculty of Economy, Technical College, and other faculties, Occupational Health and Safety faculty has this subject. There are initiatives, people have recognized the importance of this topic, and I can't tell you right at this moment how we will complete this even financially, but we will develop it in 2023. It is in our program as a measure, as an activity, which is very important. And we will certainly in the future find a way of helping the universities and other educational institutions to improve their program, the curricula, and to include circular economy. Even if we would attend some lectures to explain to the students this topic of circular economy. I received the same question during the break. That is why this communication platform is very important, because it's important for us to hear that there is interest and energy, that certain measures are implemented, then this project and program will be adjusted to what we recognize as your interest. Thank you for this suggestion. Alexandra mentioned that we are already responding to what is happening in the practice, and I'd like to mention that through acceleration, we saw certain problems in terms of legal regulations. So proposal for testing circular economy in practice now influence the regulatory and legal framework. So Alexandra could briefly just supplement this with one sentence, but through the amendments to the law, this will improve the situation. We are collecting the opinions. The amendments to the law on waste management is being amended. It is in the procedure. There was an initiative that was initiated through accelerators when we noticed a problem. You should try out a certain product obtained from waste materials. It requires certain licenses, opinions, and we will try through the amendments to this law to resolve this, so that everyone who has an initiative wants to try out some type of waste to get a product out of it, they can do it now more easily through a simpler procedure of obtaining the Ministry of Environmental Protection. But the idea is that we change the reality and practice through mutual cooperation. That's right. As Anna says, many questions open. Everything we notice as problematic in implementation. We are there to assist to resolve this, like byproducts, regulation on byproducts, to expand it to more companies, because that will, it is also, they are also goods, they not waste, and you can trade in them and resolve these problems. So these are good quality information. Everything we hear from you, that we hear directly from the field, will serve us to improve our regulatory framework. As for finances, perhaps the UNDP will be in a position to help these science and research projects. Are there any other questions? Good afternoon, Milica Damovic from Cirekon. I have two questions for companies that accepted the challenge. I don't know if Coca-Cola representatives are here. Nana is not, but we can jot down your questions. We will try and get the answer and communicate to you. I'd like to know, since Coca-Cola for the 4th year has been proclaimed the biggest polluter on the planet, how much what we are doing here is a share at the global level? How much is being done at the global level? And for Vela, I have a question. I have the question about the plastic bottles and the taps. They have different recycling streams. The bottle is PET plastics, and the tap is HD. How can that be recycled together? It is not recycled together. Bottles are collected through a public company, or what taps are taken only by social assistance companies in particular campaigns. This confuses me. We have our colleague from Vela. She can answer your question. It is planned in the EU directive, but we'll give floor to Snezhana. Thank you for this question. This will be regulated. There are filters which will separate the two types of plastics through sedimentation. My colleague Vukica is a chemist, so she can answer. I am the head of laboratory in MG Mivela. PET is one type, it is polyethylene phthalate, and taps are and they're thus declared as other types of plastics. As a socially responsible company, we separate taps from other plastics, all types of foil. It is all separated, and we have operators who come and take the waste for further recycling. Yes, the tap is being separated from the bottle because they're made of different types of plastic. Our idea is that the tethered tap is introduced as the new product so that people don't throw them away and further pollute the environment. So that it be on the bottle, it will be PET1 and HDPE plastics, that they will be separated. And it will be done by an authorized operator. Thank you for this clarification.
As for Coca-Cola, maybe I can try to respond briefly. Coca-Cola has a product that anyone can discuss. The idea was not to do marketing or advertising of any company, but rather to recognize good examples in their business models. And using heat pumps is a good business practice. The idea being that such principles can also be implemented by other businesses, irrespective of the packaging and its impact. Maybe Alexandra wants to add something. I think the heat pump idea, and you've seen the impacts calculated, is certainly a positive idea. I have no dilemma about that. And since we have these sources, we wanted to promote this so that other companies will use heat pumps to save energy, gas, and so on. So this was not to advertise the Coca-Cola brand, but rather shedding light on a good measure. And I think Anna did state that they are the first in the region and that this will be disseminated throughout the region. We hope so, certainly, and we will invite them next year and we will check whether this actually happened. We see a question back there at the end of the room. Good day, Milja Vukovic from Initiative Less Waste, More Happiness. My question for everyone, I've been listening carefully, many things confuse me as well, but it is also motivating. And my question is, in Serbia, we understand circular economy mostly as dealing with waste and recycling, whereas circularity principles are to prevent waste generation, even recyclable waste. And this means that we need to change our ideology of constant economic growth. So prevention of waste generation with the focus on repurposing or extending the life cycle of products and services is a sensitive concept. We haven't heard much about it because it undermines our understanding of society. So I share this with everyone. How will we move on towards sustainability if we only want to extend the growth ideology approach, being afraid to address waste generation, every kind of waste, including recyclable waste? For this is maybe food for thought. I believe that the idea is not to focus only on recycling, and I think some examples here really showed this, like reducing waste in the printing industry for reuse of waste. Raspberry seed, for instance, is another such example. Edible waste oil is again a case of symbiosis. And I think this can bring us back to the previous example. The problem is huge. It is very holistic. And there are many challenges ahead of us. And I think we should applaud every small step in different areas. And I'd like our today's dialogue to be along these positive tones, recognizing when something good happens and then try to replicate and extend the good things. If I may add, thank you, Mirjana, for your question. I know that you are living a zero waste life. I congratulate you for it, but we are living in a consumer society and we must be aware of this. If 1% of the population in China has an opportunity to increase purchasing, this will be huge volumes of TV sets and the mobile devices, but everyone has the right to make their lives comfortable. Some have achieved a certain level before the others, and we have access to everything, energy, water, and so on and so forth. And we do not want to give up on this comfort. But like Anna said, we need to try to reduce this step by step. We've seen the activity 5.1, where we will be working with consumers with the idea to conduct campaigns and demonstrate that they can also purchase toothpaste without the packaging paper box. You can change your consumption patterns. You can buy a bamboo toothbrush.
Korak možete da koristite, evo ja sam to htela da kažem.
So each of us can add to our list of New Year's declarations one declaration that is about circularity. Today's you received the textile bag, so you can reduce using plastic bags. You cannot fully eliminate it. There are products for which you do need a plastic bag, but you can reduce it. So working with the general public, working with the youth, working with young engineers, and learning how to live a more sustainable life is what we need to do and where we need to be heading. Vera Putner from the Ministry of the Environment. I thank you for all the presentations. They were inspirational. They contribute to cooperation with private and public sector. I have a comment about the Novi Sad project. I think the representatives have gone, but it is a very important project because the Environmental Protection Agency reports on pollution to the European Environmental Agency. There are certain targets set for Serbia in this respect, and this includes composted green waste. So it is important for all utility companies to do this, to register for this activity, and then to report the composted volumes to the Serbian Environmental Protection Agency. We need to do it, but we need to record it and report on it to the European Commission. Another very interesting project is Novi Pazar with the textile waste. It is important to hear, it is important for the general public to hear where these waste will end.
Good afternoon. I am the executive director of the public utility company, the Gradska Čistoća. Let's connect the question from the ministry and from the NGO sector. Novi Pazar has resolved the problem of cardboard of industrial origin. 10% has remained uncollected, 8% is in rural areas, and 2 to 3% should be collected from the population. The crucial question for the ministry, for you specifically, the key problem is primary selection of recyclable waste collecting in households. They contain dangerous waste, plastics, PET, glass, then we can collect. As for this project itself, it is interesting only to us, as I am telling you honestly, not even 10% of the collected recyclable waste additional capacity. 20% of this waste in our estimate ends up in boilers, that is individual furnaces, and these 20% create a much bigger problem than the 80% that we service in these landfills. 2 to 3 lorries a day of waste are taken from landfills. So 10 tons of waste are taken to our official landfill. In view of the problem we have with the new landfill, the draft feasibility study has been developed. It has a compost plant in it, recycling yard or a recycling plant. Well, the result is this for textile waste. You may not have seen this in the slide. There was a company called the Euromitex, which replied that it was interested in cooperating with us. Public utility companies also, they must start behaving in a market manner. Euromitex offered the price for collecting waste, but that doesn't mean that we will not open a procedure for procuring a better bidder. Euromitex is in Niš and Belgrade. They have 2 plants. They produce bags. They collect the mast which fill pillowcases, and they use it in the furniture industry. Thank you. So it is used then as a production material also in the shoes industry. Colleagues said that it is further used for the production of new products. Textile has not been resolved in the EU. It was put in the action plan as one of the priorities, how to resolve the post-industrial, post-consumer textile waste. The worst option is what the colleague mentioned, is incineration. 20% ends up in boilers. We have jeans waste, which are bleached using chlorine compounds to get this texture. When you incinerate them in individual furnaces with temperature of 300 to 400 degrees, you directly form dioxins and furans, and the biggest pollution is made by them. We need to just remove this waste from this type of incineration. This will already be a big step forward when it comes to air pollution in Novi Pazar. This project, this collection, this will make the producers hand over the waste to the public utility company. They will process it in the right way. It is a pioneering attempt. I'd just like to add something. As for textile waste in Novi Pazar, we already are implementing a system of collecting and transporting waste from locations. It has been impeded since the operators are from Serbia, and they charge a lot to our textile producers. They wait that a lot of textile waste is collected, and until it is collected, it can go to waste, and they have to assign a special room for that, and they have less and less facilities, production facilities, and a room for such things. But it is partly well managed because the environmental inspection and our Department for Environment Protection are established through the issuing of the certificate from being accepted from this obligation. The EU has adopted a new strategic document for textile recycling. It's less than 1% of textile is recycled into new fibers. So I call on to the academia, which has capacities, to join in the attempt to resolve this problem of textile waste in Serbia. Are there any other questions? Vesna? I have another question. You mentioned plastic bags. Does the Ministry of Environmental Protection, is it considering these biodegradable bags which are not biodegradable? Are you thinking about dealing with this problem? Certainly through this analysis that I mentioned under objective 3, we will analyze the one-off use plastic, not only food containers, but also plastic bags. You are quite right. We don't have biodegradable bags. This is oxoplastic, which unfortunately is not biodegradable. It degrades into microplastics and it doesn't solve the problem. But as I said, we will do the analysis next year and show where Serbia should go. We are considering, I can't say we have found a solution, but based on this analysis, because when we talk about one-off-use plastics, we have to look at the economy aspect. There are many small and medium-sized enterprises producing this type of products, and we can't be so strict because we will have problems. They will have to make workers redundant. We will have to find a solution. Marina from EcoBio Invest has a good idea of how to use waste which contains a lot of starch that can be easily used to make 100% the biodegradable bags that you can put in the soil and it will be degraded and you can dissolve them in water through vouchers you got and through co-financing in this project. These are the incentives we allocated. We will work on it. We expect you to offer solutions that will be scalable. And I saw you discuss this with Marina during the break. We hope for new partnerships. Our hopes are with you. They have characteristics of common plastics very similar to polyethylene or polystyrene. It is biodegradable essentially, and it is a type of biopolymers. And through derivatives of starch and polyactide, we will enter the circular economy, that is production of biodegradable packaging as pioneers together with EcoBio Invest. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? If not, I'd just like representatives of the mechanical engineering faculty and biology and faculty to spend a couple of minutes with me, and all the recipients of circular vouchers to remain with us. Another technical remark is that lunch is served in Ivo Andrić Hall because there are many participants, which is across the conference room through the hall at the other end of the hotel. And to conclude, I'd like to say that Alexandra mentioned that we are proud of what we have implemented in the past 10 months. We are also very pleased and very inspired by the great solutions and great energy and answers we received from representatives of many sectors, that we are really glad that we are ending this conference with so many participants and that we really look forward to new partnerships in the coming 4 years. Alexandra. Thank you. Let me just also close. Thank you to the State Secretary Sandra Dokic. She had to leave, and especially to her because she kept providing support throughout the process developing the circular economy program, its adoption, and the circular community project. My colleagues Susan and Sonia, who were acted as support and helped me in the organization in implementing activities, and especially the UNDP team, Miroslav Tadic, Anna Seke, who was with us at the beginning of the project, Anna Metic Radurovic, Vlada Ivanovic, Vesna Gajic, who we had really intense cooperation and very good cooperation. I hope that you were able to see this through this conference, how good a team we are, how well we cooperate, and I hope we will continue in the coming 4 years. I'd like to thank you for coming, for attending this conference, for listening to all of this. You heard a lot, and we wanted to show what we have done in 10 months and to provide you with motivation to hold on to when it comes to circular economy, green transition, and I wish you all the best in next year, a successful and healthy new year. We'll see you in the future. Please follow the challenge calls. There will be many of them next year. It will be an opportunity to maintain our contact. I'm happy that a good energy is being produced among you, that contacts are being established and partnership, because circular economy is based on partnership. We can't do anything without each other. The partnership is the key word for next year. Reinforcing the partnership on the New Year's resolutions list, there is one. Find a point for waste separation, recyclement. There are these, you can find them in the city, and try to take your waste there. Use linen bags and totes. It seems like a small activity, but believe me, cumulatively, it will contribute, because we should do it for ourselves. The Agenda 2030, the Paris Agreement, the Green Agenda, it's all very nice, but all these measures, we need to implement them for our health, for our environment. Thank you so much from me.